Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. Hope you found last week's video helpful. If you did, do please let me know. So today what I want to talk about is how your physical and mental health and well-being are completely interdependent. Put simply, your physical and mental health and well-being are the sum total of everything that you do. So that's every choice that you make has a potential effect on your body and your mind. Now, in some cases, this is very obvious because if you have chronic pain, join the club. I have osteoarthritis in my hip. If you have chronic pain, then you will know that actually exercise is one very useful way of trying to keep the joint mobile and as pain-free as possible. And exercise is also recognised as a very good way of helping your mental well-being as well. If you have a chronic illness of any sort, type 2 diabetes, heart problems, arthritis, Parkinson's, almost anything, the initial advice that you're going to get from your doctor is going to include make sure you're eating a healthy diet and make sure you're getting enough exercise. And it really is that simple, because what you choose to eat and how you choose to use your body affect both your body and your mind. And one thing that is becoming much more well recognised now, even by slightly sceptical Western doctors, is the concept of food as medicine. Because the right choice of food can make a huge difference to you physically and mentally. We know that certain food types and certain food supplements can help with depression. Omega-3, omega-6, but the essential fatty acids. Curcumin, turmeric, is now recognised as being an anti-inflammatory food micronutrient. Obviously, curcumin is the active ingredient of turmeric, but you don't eat turmeric, you use turmeric in cooking. And that is one of many foods that are known to have an anti-inflammatory effect. Why would that be important? Because we know that inflammation, a low-grade inflammation, is at the root of an awful lot of chronic illnesses, including type 2 diabetes and depression. What you choose to do with your body can affect your level of inflammation. One reason why I am such a fan of Tai Chi, and if you want to know more about that, pop on over to my Twitch stream for Tai Chi Tuesdays. If you can't go over when I'm live, the video is still there on my channel. You don't actually have to become a registered Twitch user to access it, so it's there. Plus, they're also on my Patreon. So, Qigong Tai Chi Qigong, which is what I do, has been shown to have an effect on levels of stress hormones and inflammation markers. Now, you don't need too much scientific knowledge to realise, oh, that means it could be quite beneficial. But the point is, you cannot treat any condition in isolation. Sometimes the solution is going to be outside your ability to change something. This is where we get back to the acceptance that I was talking about last week. Because if you have very poor living conditions because your landlord, isn't doing as much as he should do to improve things, your options for changing that are sadly limited. It shouldn't happen. I have strong feelings about that. But your social and housing conditions do have an effect on your mental health and well-being. And if you're living in poor housing, poor social conditions, then what you choose to eat and what you choose to do are actually, even in some ways, even more important for making sure that your body and your mind are as healthy as possible. Now, the one thing that's modern science is really getting to grips with now is the concept of the importance of the gut microbiome. These are the bacteria that live in your gut, that support your gut, that support all sorts of activities in your body. And we know that having a healthy gut microbiome is really important for physical and mental health and well-being. And the best way to support your gut microbiome is to eat a wide variety of fresh food, minimally processed food. Now, please note, I'm not talking organic. I'm not talking high-end food. I'm talking bargain basement, rice, pasta with fresh vegetables. Now, sadly, cooking skills have been lost in the education system, and I know there are an awful lot of people who don't have access to cooking equipment or don't have the skills to actually put together much of a meal. But it is quite possible to make a very healthy, very cheap meal in quite a short space of time. Pasta is easy to cook, and a pasta sauce can be made from a tin of chopped tomatoes, a few herbs and spices, cheap to buy, easy to store. Stir them in and just make the sauce. You can add lentils, you can add some meat if you want to, and just cook the sauce and put it on the pasta, and it doesn't take that long. But what I really want to talk about today is, or encourage you to do, is to look at the choices that you make every day, the choices that you have freedom to make, within the limitations of everything else that's going on around you, that can have hugely beneficial effects on both your physical and mental health and well-being. Exercise is important. And exercise is as simple as going out of your door and going for a walk. If you've got a park that's close by, that's a good place to walk. But getting out and walking anywhere is exercise. And it's absolutely amazing how much even a short walk can help. Especially if you take the time to make sure that you are standing, that you're walking in a nice upright posture with your back straight, so that you know you are walking upright. Because very, very simple trick here. If you stand upright, nice straight back, head up, your body associates that position with confidence. And when you're standing or walking nice and upright, your body releases all sorts of chemicals that actually increase your confidence and that feeling of, I'm feeling good. So simply standing upright, or if you're sitting, trying to keep your back as straight as you can. And these are simple things that you can do all the time. Now, my video last week was about the attitudes of mindfulness. And at its basis, mindfulness is simply being aware of what's going on in this moment. And you can build short bursts of mindfulness into your daily life without changing anything. So when you are standing at the sink washing your hands, really focus on what you're doing. Focus on the feel of the water, the feel of the soap, the smell of the soap, how it feels when you rub your hands together. Because when you do that, if you're focusing on that, you are not worrying about paying your fuel bill, or you're not remembering the row you had with your partner. You're not thinking about anything which could cause stress, because washing your hands is really neutral. And if you build moments like that into your day, you give your body, you send your mind a signal that allows it to reduce the stress chemicals so that your body can feel better as well as your mind. Because the stress chemicals raise your blood pressure, raise your inflammatory markers. You've stopped me if you've heard this one before. And they are the things that make you feel not good. So this is really, really important. And it doesn't need to take a long time. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need to decide, oh, right, I'm going to go out running every day and spend an hour running every day. Because it is small changes. And this is really what these streams are about. It's about encouraging you to make really, really small changes that can have major benefits. Now, you might not think that making a really small change is going to have a massive, make a massive difference. But I want you to think about two cars in the desert. They are driving side by side, absolutely parallel. They start at point A, they both end up at point B. But if one of those cars just changes direction ever so slightly, although they both start at point A, go on long enough, and they're actually going to end up at different points. So a small change can, if you make it often enough, make a very, very big difference. Now, a lot of us are struggling with being overweight. Being overweight has lots of bad effects. The physical effect of the weight can affect your joints, can lead to back problems, joint problems. And being overweight does very little for your self-confidence and can lead to depression. And when you're trying to struggle with something like being overweight, that is where small changes can build up over time. I'm a big believer in, look, if you've got a problem, you can't solve it all at once. You have to solve it one thing at a time. Because the little solutions that you can come up with quickly will, over time, build up to a very, very big solution. Think of it as a pyramid. Down here is where you are now, whatever your problem is, whether it's overweight, whether it's lack of confidence or whatever. At the top of the pyramid is where you want to be. Slim, happy, confident. But you don't get to the pyramid, top of the pyramid straight away. You have to build the bottom layer of bricks. And every small change that you make puts another brick in that bottom layer. So, if you've realised that you need to get to grip with your weight for whatever reason, whether it's health or whether it's more cosmetic, then don't decide that you're going to go on a diet. And really and truly, don't get too fixated on calories and don't get seduced into buying low-fat foods, because actually the low-fat versions of things are more unhealthy for you. Because let's get rid of the idea that fat's bad for you. Fat is not bad for you as long as you don't have too much of it. Your body needs things called essential fatty acids, which you can't get from anywhere except in your diet. So drop a few preconceptions about what constitutes, a diet that will help you lose weight. And I also suggest you get rid of the idea that if you exercise lots you'll lose weight. It doesn't quite work, because you are so much more than calories in versus calories out, put simply. Because in the middle you've got this gut microbiome thing that complicates things but also helps things. So if you're looking at your diet and thinking, I really need to start eating a bit healthier for whatever reason, don't start making wholesale changes. Start off by making one change for a fortnight or 3 weeks. If there is a time when you would normally reach for biscuits or crisps, reach for a piece of fruit. Simple piece of fruit. Don't care what it is. It can be a handful of blueberries, a few grapes, an apple, an orange, a banana. Just reach for some fresh fruit. And do that for 2 to 3 weeks. And eventually it will become automatic. It'll become so automatic that you think, oh, hang on a minute, I've got the hang of that. And you can start thinking, okay, well, let's look at a whole meal. How can I make my breakfast healthier? Whatever changes you're going to make, don't try and change too many things all at once. Pick one thing, make one small change. Whether it is swapping an unhealthy food choice for a healthy food choice, or simply deciding to spend 10 minutes a day outside walking, even if all you're doing is walking around your garden, if you can't go out, if you've got a garden, or, just walking up and down the road outside your house for 10 minutes. Small changes don't have to take long and can make a big difference. Now, so far I've been talking about making changes that you can easily see will affect your physical body. But food choices are known to have an effect on your emotional and mental state. We all know chocolate can make us feel really good. So I hope you don't have too much difficulty with the concept that what you eat can affect how you feel. I've already spoken about how the omega-3 and omega-6 essential fatty acids have been shown to help in depression. And there's other examples like that. Depression is also made worse by inflammatory markers. So eating foods that reduce inflammatory markers are A, going to be very healthy for your physical body, and B, going to help your mental well-being as well. So you really can't look at anything in isolation. But there are also things that you can do to help your mind that will help your body. Now, here we come back to something I mentioned earlier, which is chronic pain. It's not really hard to understand that if you've got chronic pain, that obviously affects the joint, it affects the whole of you. If you've ever had toothache, you will know that that small area in your tooth can make the whole of your face feel like it's on fire and make you feel thoroughly miserable. So pain is actually at the brain-body interface. If you have physical pain, I'm not saying don't take painkillers. I know painkillers have an important role to play. But Western medicine is starting to realise actually, if you've got chronic pain, painkillers are only of limited value. And this is where a wonderful technique in mindfulness can come into play, which is the body scan and actually really paying attention to your body. And so to end this video, what I would like to do is a short period of mindfulness meditation, which is really aimed at somebody who has got chronic pain. If you are lucky enough not to have chronic pain, first of all, express some gratitude. It is miserable to have chronic pain. But I'd still like to invite you to join in, because we all deal with pain, and sometimes the pain can be mental, more so than physical. And the techniques that I'm going to explain here will help you as much with mental pain as with physical pain. So I'd like to invite you to get yourself settled and comfortable. Just sit or lie. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable and safe to do so. Hopefully you can make sure that you won't be disturbed. But just go with whatever it is, wherever you are. And if you want to take more time over the preparations, well, just pause this video, make the preparations and restart it when you're ready. So I'd like you to get yourself settled and comfortable. And I'd like you to make a note of any sense of security and comfort that you have where you're sitting or lying right now. Maybe you can notice what security and comfort actually mean to you. Can you feel the comfort in your body? And then I'd like you to bring your attention very close in, and I'd like you to focus on where your body meets the bed or the chair or the cushion. I'd like you to really notice the contours and the textures. Notice how your body is being supported. You're not having to do anything. And you might also think about the fact that gravity is holding you there. So why not imagine gravity holding you a little firmer than it normally does? So you sink a little deeper in, and as you do, why not let your shoulders just relax a tiny bit more? And then I'm going to invite you to do a technique called the body scan. I'm going to invite you to pay attention to different parts of your body in turn, just giving each part of your body the attention that it needs. Maybe imagine that there's a barcode scanner reading up your body, starting at your toes and working all the way up to the top of your head. And as you scan up different parts of your body, I'd like you just to notice any sensations that you have in any particular part of your body. There may be none. If there's none, then just notice that there is no sensation in that part of your body. Just really notice what's going on in your body right here, right now, starting at your toes and slowly working back through your feet and your heels and your ankles, and then up from your ankles through your lower legs, the shin and the calf. And as you notice your calf muscles, you may notice that they just have a slight tendency to relax. And continue scanning up through your knees, from your knees all the way through your thighs, noticing those big muscles. And maybe take a moment to thank those muscles for everything they do for you. And then continue scanning. So you scan from your pelvic area all the way up to your shoulders. Scanning first up your front, your lower abdomen, your waist, and your chest. And then scanning up your back, from your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, to your shoulders. And then scan from your shoulders all the way down to your fingertips. And then scan up from your fingertips, through your fingers, your hands, the palms and the backs, the wrists, the forearm, the elbow, the upper arm. And then when you get back to the shoulders, start scanning through your neck and all the way up through your head and your face. Just noticing every part of your body in turn, giving each part of your body some attention, because everybody needs attention. Now, you almost certainly became aware of some sensations as you did that scan. And even if you haven't got chronic pain, you can just choose to focus on those for the next part of the exercise. Or if you have chronic pain, then focus on where that pain is. So I'd like you to focus your attention on whatever sensation you're focusing on. I'm going to talk now about chronic pain and severe pain, but you can still do this with more subtler feelings, just to become curious about what you can really feel, and also with emotional feelings, trying to analyse what's really there. But if you have chronic pain, I'd like to invite you to really place your attention firmly where you can feel that pain. Now, when you have chronic pain, it's natural in a way to resist it. But actually, that makes things worse. Because when you have chronic pain, a lot of the time you're thinking ahead to, well, how much is it going to hurt when I make the next move? Am I going to be able to get up without causing myself a lot of pain? So actually, a lot of the pain that you're feeling now isn't due to what's going on now physically in your body. It's being made worse by what you're thinking about may happen in the next moment. I'd like to invite you to explore the area where you have pain and just notice what is there right here, right now. Pain can be very deceptive. Although it may feel like a big block of pain, I'd like to invite you to really find the edges of the pain. Can you find a defined edge? Can you focus on where the absolute centre of the pain is? And as you focus on the pain, you may very well notice that what seemed like one unbroken block of sensation is actually smaller than you thought, and also not as constant. Because pain comes and goes, you know that. Because you know how to lessen your pain. Pain comes and goes. And as you pay close attention to what you're feeling right now, you may very well notice that what seemed like one unbroken set of pain signals actually varies in intensity. Maybe sometimes it's very sharp, maybe other times it's duller. But as you pay attention to the pain, paying attention to it gives you a certain amount of control over it. And that's good. Because so often the fear about pain is that you can't control it. And what I'd like you to do now is to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in and imagine that breath is filled with love and compassion and healing. And I'd like you to imagine as you breathe in, you breathe in all the way down to where you feel the pain. To everywhere you feel pain. And imagine that breath filled with love and healing and compassion. Imagine that you can massage the painful area from the inside with that breath. And just Keep taking deep breaths filled with healing and love and compassion, and keep breathing down into the part that is so painful. Because the love and compassion will cause some relaxation, and that can help relax the pain. And then bring your awareness back to where you are. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Chronic pain is the one area where mind and body most strongly interact. It's the area where it's the area where you sorry about that, it's the area where you really need both mind and body to be in focus. What you need to do is to recognize that what goes on in your mind has a massive effect on your body. Certainly where pain is concerned. Because if you've got chronic pain, so much of the pain is coming because you're tensing up against the pain and you're wondering how bad the pain is going to be next time. When if you could just relax, it would be so much easier. And simple body scan meditations like that can help you relax. And that can help you deal with the pain. And if you deal with the pain, you just feel better. So this stream, I've been trying to focus on how the simple things that we can do can affect both our mind and our body. I've talked about how exercise obviously affects your body, but can help your mind. How the food choices that we make can affect both body and mind. I've talked about how you can make small changes to can make actually big improvements, simply, altering one thing. And then when you've got the hang of that, maybe you can go and alter something else. But above all, remembering that even the smallest of changes will have an effect. So I'm going to end this video now. I have absolutely got no idea what I'm going to be doing next Wednesday. I will have a think. If you've got any ideas, please let me know. Please do consider joining my Discord, which is where you can talk to me. And also, these videos are free, will remain free. But if you find them beneficial, I do have a Patreon where for £1.49 a month, you can be a patron, and that gives you access to extra resources that are only available for patrons. So £1.49 a month, it's not that much. And what is your mental health and well-being worth to you? £1.49 doesn't even buy a coffee, so I happen to think that's rather good value. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank yourself for being here. Remember, you matter. You are awesome, and I want you to be as awesome as you possibly can be. And I want you to know how much you matter, even if you don't feel that you really matter that much. Namaste.